Hold on, I think I gotta sneeze.
Sneeze it. Let it out. Think of pepper. Something, a feather. Dog dander. Sneeze it.
Got one. Here's a second. Hold on.
Do it again.
I muted the first one for you. I gave you the second one. Whatever. This is episode 34 of the Elbow Nudge podcast. We're talking Toy Story 2.
Yeehaw!
We nailed it. We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. Woody's Roundup. Come on, it's
Just
time to play.
You got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me.
There's Jessie, the yodeling cowgirl. Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay. Bullseye is Woody's horse. He's a smart one.
All right, this intro is very accurate to how this movie kind of plays out because the scales have been risen.
Oh, yes.
Toy Story 2, right?
Oh, yes.
Where do you want to start with this, Caroline?
Oh,
There's
my
a lot
God.
to talk about with this one.
First of all, this is a perfect sequel. I've gone on pod to say that I love sequels and I love a good sequel. This is a perfect sequel. Not only do we get taken out of the comfort zone, we see everybody working together. We see a new dynamic. We get introduced to new characters that just complement the cast so well. It's just a perfect sequel to an already classic movie.
How does this sequel rank against the sequel power of Shrek 2?
Oh, Tony, it's hard to compete against perfection. But while Shrek 2 is a 10 out of 10, Toy Story 2 is a good contender. I think out of the sequels, Shrek 2 is the best sequel. But Toy Story 2 meets the standard. It's good.
It's a better sequel to its original, or it's a better movie compared to each other, Shrek 2 and Toy Story 2?
That's rough. I can't give that answer on the spot. I'd have to really weigh my options. But I am of the opinion that this movie is better than Toy Story 1. I think it topped its original.
I can agree with that.
It's just, it's got a, well, like, don't get me wrong. We praised Toy Story 1 in our last episode, and it deserves all of its honors. It's a great movie. But this movie just is really good. We get to see Woody in that classic leadership role. We see him save someone too when it starts off with like saving Wheezy. Like, that's just such
You want to start there? You want to start like a scene by scene breakdown?
Yeah,
I feel like that's the way you want to go about
it. That's not really the way, but as Elbow Nudge trend dictates, we'll jump around a bit. I think we'll just let the conversation flow.
Okay.
But yeah, I like the way this starts with the scene set before us where like Andy's got this like this. Well, also wait. I'm actually getting ahead of myself because the real way it starts is the video game with the like. It's like, yep. It's got that little 2001: A Space Odyssey reference, that bum 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 bum.
You're right. I'm glad you remembered it because I didn't. But I remember when we spoke about 2001: A Space Oddity, we were like, is this the movie where it came from? That tune?
Yeah, that is.
Sci-fi, that was a good little callback.
That like, I think it's what, Beethoven or something like that, but that orchestral mix with sci-fi is just now a thing because of 2001: A Space Odyssey. And this is one of the movies that plays on that, is that like bum, 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 when Buzz is like on those little floating platforms. Yeah. And then it goes for my heart with a Star Wars reference with all the like the blaster sound effects and the lightsaber sound effects. Those are like straight from the blasters and the lightsabers from Star Wars.
Yeah, there's a lot of references to Star Wars in this movie.
Oh, yeah. We can hit on more of it with later in the movie, the I am your father. No!
Yeah, but with this first thing that you mentioned, the video game opening, do you remember your reaction as a kid? Because mine was like immediately, whoa, this is way, way bigger. Like you see an immediate improvement from the first one.
Not only an improvement in the opening, but also the animation is whoa, much
Yeah,
more improved. Like, wow, they put some work into this. How many years is it apart? I have it right here.
4 years,
4 years. Look at that.
and it shows.
It does. They've improved a lot, and you know, it's created a great movie. And then after that, we get that little like Buzz Lightyear video game scene. Then we get taken into like Andy setting up his toy kind of thing with that. I love that shot that the movie does with Ham on that bucket platform, and all of the little toy soldiers are down below, and it's like doing that
Has his
side
little hat
frame.
on.
Yeah, it's going down like as if it's like the Empire with all the stormtroopers.
Yeah, that's definitely another reference, right, to Star Wars.
Yeah, that's gotta be. It's just so funny. I love that part.
Yeah, this is one he's like, 5 minutes. All right, I could set up a whole toy scenario here.
That's so on point as a kid. I cannot count the amount of times that, like, I don't know, it was like time to go to church, and my mom's like, "We're leaving in 5 minutes," and Davey and I are like, 5 minutes, so that we have all our toys out.
Set up all the Bionicles.
All the Bionicles versus Transformers. That was my Avengers Endgame.
Oh man. Yeah, but then what was it before that? Oh yeah, just Rex playing the video game. I like the setup with Rex and like his little story.
His whole like
Trying to defeat Zurg.
yeah, I was thinking about how he had to like buy a game manual at the toy store.
Yeah.
Like that's how walkthroughs were done back then, was need tips and tricks, you need to buy this game manual.
Yeah, I wrote something down about that because I was thinking he was complaining. He was saying like, you can't even beat Zurg without buying this. He said it's
Yeah.
extortion. And I was thinking, oh Rex, if only you knew where gaming is at right now.
Yeah, who buys game manuals? It's like you just Google like insert game name here and then walk through.
Oh well, that got better. But I'm saying microtransactions, cosmetic, battle passes, season passes, DLC expansions. Rex he's in for a dark future.
It was a simpler time back then when you
Yeah,
can just pay like $30 for one game and then that was it. Everything was there.
that was it. And then you just had to buy a magazine to tell you how to beat it.
Yeah. Get like Game Informer for kids. Nintendo Power.
Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
They even had that hotline you could call. Nintendo. If you ever got like, stuck in a level.
That's amazing. I never called the hotline, but that is so funny. Stuck
No,
in a
I never
game?
did either.
Call this number.
Imagine that job. Imagine telling people that was your job.
That's what these YouTubers do now. You don't have to call anybody. You just got to look up their videos.
Yeah, but imagine how it was back then. You're like, I assume you're sitting at a desk receiving calls, clocking in 9 to 5.
Your customer support, and it's like, what level are you on? All right, do you see Zurg when he appears in level 5?
You're not going to want to go through the main entrance. Go through the side entrance where the shadow's covering it. That one.
That'd be a pretty cool job. I would like that.
That's what I'm saying. Doesn't that sound cool and interesting? You tell people, like, oh, yeah, I work walking people through video games over the phone.
As a quick tangent, just on that note, quick fire. If you could be that person for any video game, what would it be?
The only video game I'm good at, N+.
I should have known.
But I can't walk anyone through that. I can only motivate them. Like, look, you got this. You got to be patient. Every failure is one step closer to success. All right.
Remember to blink, remember to breathe, and lean forward.
But patience, the most important, and never give up. All right, buddy, you got this. Click.
I just imagine you just recording yourself saying that, and when you get a call, you just press play. So you're just saying the same thing to each person.
If I was some kind of genius slacker type, like, yeah, I'll just play a tape recorder. But yeah, what are some scenes or some characters that you want to get into?
Can I get into my favorite, my girl, Jessie?
Go ahead. Tell me all about Jessie.
I love her. Also, just I don't know why. I thought she was voiced by Winona Ryder. She's not. She's voiced by Joan Cusack. But all these years, I don't know why I thought she was voiced by Winona Ryder.
You didn't say that on the first episode, right?
No, I did not.
All right, we're good. No apologies necessary. You're good.
No. That was just something I had always believed. I just always thought that she was voiced by Rinona Wyder.
No, are you serious? It only took one more episode. One. Yes. Let me timestamp this. The trilogy is completed. Yes, Caroline, please. I'm going to send you all 3 clips. You put them together. We've completed the trilogy. It's not even my birthday. This is amazing. Caroline, you there? Winona who?
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Elbow Nudge podcast. Remember to give us a like, subscribe, hit the bell icon.
Caroline, you completed it. I'm going to send you the clips. No. Well, you already have them. You already have them.
Oh, Winona Wyder. Whoever decided to put W's and R's together could just go fall off of a train track. I can't believe
amazing.
It already happened. You know
Wow.
what? I jinxed myself by hearing our Chip and Dale episode today. That's why it got in my head.
Were you thinking about it going in like, don't say it with a W.
Yes,
don't say it with a W. Don't say it with a W.
I manifested it.
Oh, this is a glorious day.
No, it's not.
I'm glad I was here for it too.
Yeah, of course. Who else is going to be here for it? It was going to happen on the pod.
I don't know. Sometimes it can happen with your friends and I don't hear about it. You wouldn't tell me either.
I would not. No.
It wouldn't be recorded. It'll be gone.
Oh my gosh.
It wouldn't be documented at all.
My glasses are fogging up.
Oh, man. This is such a great day. So Joan Cusack, huh?
Yes, Joan Cusack is my girl.
So I think she's the one from...
She is in...
School of Rock.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's in your movie.
Yeah.
Did you know we also have the same birthday?
Miss Mullins.
Yeah, we have the same birthday. She's October 11.
So you got a lot of connections to Jessie.
I do. I think I've gone on pod to say this, but like I was never allowed to celebrate Halloween. We had Hallelujah night instead.
I remember that.
And the only character I have ever dressed up as in my life is Jessie. And I had a little Jessie outfit.
Oh, this was multiple times or just once?
One time.
One time?
Yeah, that was my one moment of feeling like a normal kid. Where I was able to go in
normal
costume.
Kid in Texas. Where you could dress up as a cowboy.
It was different because like I had the jeans with the cow hide fabric and like I was Jessie. I had the red hat. I loved it so much, that whole outfit. It was so cool. But like I have a special connection with Jessie. She was my toy. I took her everywhere. I took her to church. I would fall asleep with her. I would walk around the house with her and I would hold her by her hand too. So she would kind of droop a bit, but I thought I was holding her the right way. And I remember when my mom first showed me this movie, like I said, I must have been like 5 because I saw it in sequential. I saw Toy Story 1 and then Toy Story 2. And then my mom took me to like Toys R Us and we bought a Jessie doll. And it was just
right after.
Right after.
Awesome.
I got a Jessie doll. And you know what's kind of crazy too is I never really like I think I had a Bullseye. No, I do have a Bullseye because I found him the other day. But I didn't have a Woody and I didn't have like a Buzz Lightyear. I just wanted Jessie. And then I remember I would watch Toy Story 2 because we had the VHS of this movie. And I would fast forward scenes that she wasn't in when I would watch it over and over again as a kid. I just loved
It's
seeing
so
her.
much of the movie.
Yeah, I know, but like that was just like that was what I loved. I loved seeing Jessie. And I was a little girl. You know how like it's like when a little girl, I don't know, like if she's watching a Disney princess movie and then she just wants to hear the music kind of thing. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that was how it was for me. I just wanted to see Jessie. I just loved the way she talked and the way she yeehawed and the way like everything.
I was a big fan of Jessie too. And on these rewatches, I feel like I don't see her in the movie as much as I thought I did.
Right? I thought the same thing.
You just recently saw Toy Story 3. I feel like she's more in 3. Is that right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, it is. She's more in 3 than she is in
yeah,
2.
cuz even in scenes that she's in, there's sometimes where she just doesn't have any lines. She's just standing there just like looking at Woody or hearing whatever the prospector's saying. It's kind of strange cuz you see her, you think you see her a lot, but not really. And then she doesn't even speak that much from the time that she's on screen, which I
Yeah.
thought was weird, but she's a very integral part of Toy Story now.
She is like that's the thing, like back to the Shrek 2 reference. She's like the Puss in Boots. That's the character that got popular. Like you wouldn't think that a sequel would introduce such an integral character, but here she is. Like she is crucial to the crew. So,
Yeah, and oh yeah, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, like, not to get into like spoiler territory. I mean, Toy Story 3 came out in like 2010, but she's one
Oh,
of the.
don't be a Davy. Don't be a Davy. There's probably some people who haven't seen it.
You're right. You're right. You're right. However, my point just being, she's one of the toys Andy keeps in Toy Story 3. When you think about that,
Yeah,
that's all I'll say about Toy Story 3. But
that's
like,
true. And that's a good thing to call out actually.
that's just how much importance she is. Also, I have a theory. This might be getting into another kind of territory, but you know how in the beginning of this movie, when Woody is at the yard sale and Al sees him and he wants to buy him, and the mom says, "Oh no, he's not for sale. He's a family toy." That got me thinking.
Oh,
That was Woody her toy? And was she a fan of Woody's Roundup? And she had a Jessie hat. And that's why in the first movie, Andy has a red hat like Jessie's.
hey, that's really good.
I was thinking about this.
I thought you were gonna go somewhere darker. The first thing you sparked in my mind as soon as you said family toy, because I didn't think about it until you started bringing it up, was maybe Woody was Andy's dad's, and that's what they hold on to because he's dead.
Yeah, that's another thing we didn't really talk about in the first Toy Story movie, but that there's like that whole background story of like something happened to Andy's dad. Some people say that they got a divorce, but I think it's he passed on and that's why they moved was for like a fresh start.
They never mention it, right? They never speak of his
They
dad.
never speak of his dad.
I
But
don't know.
there's something like there's a lot of Pixar conspiracy theorists because you have those same people that like to draw the connections between like Finding Nemo and like, you know, all these Pixar movies are somehow interconnected. Like you see a Buzz Lightyear in Finding Nemo and stuff like that.
Yeah, you see the ball, the Toy Story ball, show up in
Yeah.
other movies.
There are people that do that draw these comparisons, but I think that here, I'm just gonna like put that in there. For Andy to have that hat, and that's a Jessie hat, like clearly. I think that it's because Jessie, or not Jessie, but Woody belonged to his mom. And so that also got me thinking that if that was the case, if she said, "Oh no, he's a family toy," that also means that Woody's been with Andy since he was a baby.
I believe that.
And that just caused my heart to swell so much.
So I'm gonna start thinking about it a little bit from outside the movie now.
Okay.
I think they just gave Andy this hat because it's a cowboy hat. And then for part two, once it was time that they create Jesse, they figured, why not give him the hat that we had Andy wear? Or do you really believe that they had somewhat of an outline for Toy Story 2 and they were planning for Jesse to wear the hat that Andy's wearing?
No, I think the way you're thinking about it, I think that they gave him this hat, and then after that, they were like, what if, you know,
Jesse wears it.
yeah, and then we make that like part of interwoven into the background.
And also the idea that this was Andy's mom's Woody. Why wouldn't she keep Jessie? Why does she have Jessie's hat and not a Jessie doll?
That's the question. Like that's where I'm like, what if, what if?
And also for the dad, I don't think they'll do a divorce. I think if they're gonna do anything sad, it'll be that he passed away. I feel like they'll make it so that he was a loving father, and maybe that was his Woody, and he left it for Andy. Maybe he passed away when Andy was very young, like a baby, and then he left it for Andy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I totally believe that Andy's mom would have a Woody doll. I just don't know why she wouldn't keep her Jessie doll. I feel like she would have both. I feel like she would even have Bullseye or something.
Yeah, why she wouldn't have a Jesse, or maybe I'm just thinking that maybe okay, we're gonna dive into this conspiracy theory hole,
Let's
and then
go. Go ahead.
we'll get out of it later and we'll talk about the movie just for a little bit. I'm just thinking in the realm of this. What if she only had like enough money for a Woody doll? And it was like, do you want the cowboy or do you want like the cowgirl? And she wanted the cowboy because she wanted to be the cowgirl.
Yeah, but then why would she get Andy Jesse's hat?
I'm thinking that that was her hat. I don't think she got Andy that hat. I think it's hers.
All right. And then Andy just likes it. He sees that it's a cowboy hat.
Yeah,
Likes to wear it.
he doesn't think that it's a girl's cowboy hat. He just thinks it's a cowboy hat.
But I also do feel at this time they would separate it for girls' toys and boys' toys, because even Jessie near the end of the movie she says, "Oh, Andy has a little sister. Well, come on then." She got super excited. She's like she knows a girl would play with her differently or give her more attention. I feel
Yeah,
like Pixar was in that mindset. Like maybe Andy's mom would get a Jessie over a Woody if she could only get one,
these are all good points. Hmm.
but definitely not a prospector. Nobody would get a prospector.
Who-
That's only to complete the set.
The only person I could think of who would own a Stinky Pete is probably you. If he was,
Wow.
if he was
What
like,
kind of backhanded? Is
I was
that
just
a
I was just thinking if he's called Stinky Pete, what if you pull the drawstring and it's a fart? Like you would love that.
I
That
love the
would be
bloopers.
a toy. Wait, the bloopers.
He farted in the bloopers.
He did. He was like, "Ooh, man."
That's why they call me Stinky Pete. Woo!
If that toy, if you pulled the drawstring and it did farts, you would love it.
He does have a funny looking body.
I think of that little girl in the airport where she's like, "Mom, look at this big ugly doll."
Yeah, I feel like they were already coming up with ideas for Toy Story 3 by showing that
Yeah.
Barbie was all tattered and drawn on, and they're thinking, man, maybe, well, not maybe, they're like, we could use the story of little kids being more rough with the toys for our next movie, and that's like what the whole Sunny Side is about.
Yeah, wow, you're right. You're right. What's interesting too is okay, this movie also kind of does that with the first one because in Toy Story 1, the whole point and premise is that Woody is an older doll, but we never really knew how old. Because when you think about it, he's like a plush doll with the seams and stuff like that. And he's actually kind of like your Batman. He's got like a plush body with a rubber head or like a plastic head.
Yeah.
And then you get these new all plastic toys like Buzz Lightyear. Well, this movie flips it a little bit and say, what if, and not only just what if, but now we know Woody is this priceless, like really rare, collectible old doll. And he's actually worth a lot of money. He's like a Sheriff Woody doll. And that's what I thought is so smart about where the plot went for this movie now.
Yeah, there's a couple questions I want to ask you about this.
Oh, okay. Shoot.
Well, first of all, the prospector, he did mention how people were getting more interested in space toys after Sputnik.
Yeah.
This is something we spoke about in the first episode, and
Mhm.
they developed on here. But Sputnik was the shuttle that, or was it shuttle or satellite, whatever, that they launched from Russia.
Yes.
So kids here in America are supposed to be excited and all about space because of that. That's what I was thinking about. because for us it was Apollo, whatever. I don't know which, but like how would the kids know that we did anything to do with space from Russia?
I think it's because the Sputnik did instigate the space race.
That's true, but I feel like they're not watching the news, definitely, and their parents. I don't know if they're telling them about what's going on.
I don't know. I think they are. This is what the Sputnik was in the. What year was the Sputnik?
Not sure. Definitely
I'm
before
looking it up.
in the 60s or
1957.
okay.
I've had this is just speculation, opinion. Obviously, we don't know, but like my parents were raised in the 60s and they often talked about that. They only had one TV in the house. Often it was black and white, and the father controlled the TV. And whatever the dad watched, they had to watch. So like my dad said I would always watch the news and stuff like that. So maybe they did and they got kind of hyped at the idea of going into space. And then you get these toy makers that are like, what if we make astronauts? Kind of thing.
Yeah, it definitely has to be the toy manufacturers who were inspired by this and the space race that was going on during that time.
And then when the kids see toys about that along with the news of the space race, that gets them excited.
Yeah, it's got to be that.
So the Cowboys got overthrown by the
By
Astros.
sci-fi.
Yep.
But here's a second question. Actually, it's a couple more questions still related to the same thing.
All right.
So Al is looking to sell the Woody's Roundup to a museum in Japan.
In Japan.
Why does this museum have any interest in Western toys?
It's a toy museum, and I just think that it's part of that whole business for them. Kind of like how an art gallery wants to buy up new art to display. But for them, it's like, oh, hey, now we're looking into getting these discontinued toys from the 60s or the 50s, like kind of thing. Because if the Sputnik is like in 57, so this is like, and they were popular right before it, I'm assuming Woody was made at around 56 or something. And so this toy museum is like, hey, we're interested in buying up this collection of this discontinued toys to make it part of history.
Now that you mention that too, Woody's in pretty good shape to be about 30 years old.
Yeah, they take care of him. You take care of your toys, they take care of you.
Yeah. But yeah, I just found it a little. I mean, I could totally believe a museum would want to collect any kind of whatever they're into, if it's toys, art, artifacts, whatever. But the weird part that I'm kind of looking at is if we have a museum here that collects toys, how much effort would we try to seek out to have a collection of historical Japanese toys as opposed to putting the effort into looking for historical American toys? You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of it is crossover too, because a lot of the toys that we grew up with are crossovered from Japan.
They're not all made here.
Yeah, they're not all made here, but also like the Transformers, that's a shared thing. The Transformers that are sold here were also sold in Japan.
Yeah, I was also thinking about that too. Do you think they had a Woody's Roundup in Japan, like translated or something? Because it's got to be some sort of importance for them to want to have a Woody's Roundup.
You're
in the
right.
museum.
You're right. It's gotta be, yeah.
Because it's important for us. It's important for the West and people who liked westerns. But why would it be any important to Japan and Tokyo?
Yeah, it's gotta be. I think also like what helps too, I think it's not just the special interest in Woody's Roundup, but also that Al said he had the whole collection. So if you say I have all of the merchandise related to this show from the 50s, and then the museum's gonna be like, okay, we want it.
Yeah, and he really did have everything. Not just Jessie, Bullseye, and Prospector. He also had the lamps, the yo-yos, the bubble
It's
maker.
a yo-yo. I'm on a yo-yo.
I was a yo-yo. Was.
What? Oh, Mr. Potato Head never changed. the scene where Woody looks at all the merchandise, the crew, like when they had Tom Hanks in the studio to record his voice, the studio made actual mock-up of the toys from Woody's Roundup. And as he was recording his lines, they were bringing him the toys. So all of his reactions in the movie are genuine. He's like, I'm on a yo-yo. Like, that's all him.
Oh, I love that.
I thought that is so sweet. Like, that when I found out about that, I was doing all my research yesterday. And so when I rewatched the movie today, I thought that was so sweet. You could hear it in his voice how surprised he is.
Because this goes back to what you were saying. The acting is just really good.
The
The voice
voice
acting.
the voice acting in Toy Story all across the board is so good. And they're all big names. It's just they do such a good job. They put so much heart into their acting. But it's also because Pixar does a group voice acting session. They're all in the room together. And so they're able to actually express emotion and feed off of one another.
I'm glad you told me that because on this rewatch, it really did stick out to me like how happy he was to see all these toys. And
Yeah.
everything he was saying was like, ah, I get it. Snake in my boot. And ah, Bubbles, clever. You know, like he's so happy about everything that he's saying. That's a great idea to introduce it to him like that.
I thought that was so cute. So cute. One of the things that I also discovered is that the idea for this movie came from John Lasseter. He's the director of the film. He was going on vacation or something, but he was at an airport with his wife and his kids. And when they stepped onto the airplane, a little boy was hugging a Woody doll. And when they sat down on the flight, he was showing it to his dad, and his dad strapped the Woody doll and buckled it in next to the kid in the airplane seat. And John Lasseter was so touched and moved by seeing that. And he was like, these are not just my characters. These are everybody's now. Like this Toy Story is now a real thing, in that kids love and relate to like Woody and Buzz, and they treat them as part of their life like Andy does. And that was what inspired him to do a sequel.
Oh, so this was before Toy Story 2. After the success of Toy Story, he started seeing things like that.
So like when you look at the list, it was Toy Story and then A Bug's Life, and they were actually going to move on to like the next movie, like cuz the movie after that is Monsters Inc. But John Lasseter, after he saw after seeing that at the airplane, he was like, "No, we're going to do a Toy Story 2."
And I guess that's how the finale of this movie got inspired too.
Yeah, at the airport.
Yeah, they created something so special. The generation that grew up watching this, they're forever influenced by this movie and their
Absolutely.
love of toys, how they played with toys, how they think about toys. It's amazing.
And not giving away or like throwing away their toys.
Shout out to your Jessie
Shout out to my Jessie. and my
watching me right now.
and my Samantha doll.
And your Samantha. Where's your Blue Ranger? Is she tossed?
No, actually, I found her.
Oh, yeah?
I did. After we recorded it, I was like, I'm not going to leave her alone in the dark.
They're all sitting in on this podcast right now?
They are all sitting comfortably on my bookshelf
Okay, good.
with my that's another thing too.
They got shelved.
No, what? Technically, yeah, they did. They're up
They
on my
got
bookshelf.
shelved. Yeah.
Oh no, Woody's been shelved.
But yeah, what were you going to say?
I have, well, first, before I get into me, have you ever wanted a toy that you never got, and like to this day you think about it like, I wish I had that toy?
A specific toy? No. But whenever I was walking around with my mom as a kid and I saw something, I'm like, oh, I want that, or can I have that? It was always like, no, you got plenty of toys kind of
We
thing.
have toys at home.
Yeah, it was like that. But no regrets or anything over that because I did have plenty of toys. It was fine.
When I was a kid, there was this one toy I always really wanted. And it wasn't that like my mom would tell me no, but it was that remember how I talked about with Chip and Dale that I would always watch TV while the kids were in school, perks of being homeschooled kind of thing?
Yeah,
So because of that, I watched a lot of reruns. And one of those
you
reruns,
nailed it, Caroline.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. One of those was Power Rangers Turbo. And the Power Ranger in there, he was like a guest appearance, was like the Phantom Ranger. And I remember I loved his character. That was like, as a kid, I think I was like maybe 7 years old and I wanted that action figure. I wanted that toy. And I could never find it. Like it wasn't like it's that show was maybe from 1998 or 97. Like there's no way a kid in like 2003 was going to be able to get it. And I remember when I was old enough to like have a debit card and I was like, "You mean I can buy stuff online with this?" And my mom was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay." I immediately went to eBay and I looked for that toy and I bought it. And I have it right next to my Xbox.
That's the day your life changed forever. You became an internet shopper.
I did, yeah. That was the day I knew eBay and I were going to be closely acquainted.
Wow.
But I was thinking about that with Woody and like Al, where like that was the toy he was always looking for all those years. I don't know if it's because he was a Woody's Roundup guy or if it was just because he wanted to sell all this stuff to Japan for a quick buck.
Oh, definitely the second. He does
Okay.
not care about the Woody's Roundup or anything. He wants to make money.
Okay. But I was thinking about like one of those two options in the first one. I was like, huh, that kind of reminds me of my Phantom Ranger.
You did remind me of a story,
Uh
very
huh.
short. It was elementary school for me, and I was invited to one of the kids' birthday parties.
Mm
And my mom got a gift so I could bring my friend. And the gift was like a whole bunch of Spider-Man, like the original Spider-Man, then like the human, no, not the, well, I don't know what they called it, more like man spider or whatever. It looked more like a spider. Just like different versions of Spider-Man. I thought it was so cool. And I was asking my mom if I could have it. Like, can I keep it?
Oh.
Yeah, because I love Spider-Man, obviously. And she's like, "No, that's a gift. That's a gift for your friend." And then I felt so sad, and I remember crying too.
Oh.
But yeah, it's all right. It's all good.
I was thinking about that when you said that you had like a Batman and a Robin. I was thinking, no Spider-Man toys, huh?
No, I did have a Spider-Man toy, but I went through a couple of them. But I named the Batman and Robin one because that was the age that I had them when I was really, really into them, like Andy was.
They were your Woody and
Yeah,
Buzz.
yeah. But yeah, since we spoke about Al, I want to ask you some things about Al.
Okay.
Well, first we see Al's toy barn in Toy Story 1. That's cool in the commercial. And then you also see the Buzz Lightyear aisle in that
Oh
commercial.
yeah.
So when in part 2, when you literally see a whole aisle full of Buzz Lightyears, that's really cool. But I wanted to ask you about his living situation because where he keeps all the Woody's Roundup toys and the glass presentation for the toys and things like that.
Uh-huh.
This is his house, right? This is his apartment.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like that to me. It doesn't look like a home at all.
Yeah, it doesn't. It looks like an office in an office
It
building.
looks like an office. Yeah, it looks like a weird, sterile kind of storage
Yeah.
room. Like I didn't see
There's no
a
bed.
fridge, no bed. He was sleeping on a couch.
He walks out, but like you notice the doors too? It doesn't look like the door of a home. It's like a double door, right?
I don't know about that. I know the door he walks out of.
I'm in Disney Plus. Let's see.
I don't know what it leads to. My guess is that it just leads straight to the hallway of the apartment building and then right into the elevator. But what do you think about that? Was that intentional? Did Pixar mean anything by that to make him, I don't know, is he like very business orientated and he doesn't care to have a warm home? Or was this just like a an oversight where it doesn't really look like a home?
You know, I trust Pixar. And I don't think it was an oversight. You know what? I'm looking at it. Okay. I can see a hallway. I think that this is a room in his apartment that he has like a bedroom and a
So that door
kitchen.
that he's always leaving, when he's on the call with the repair guy, and he's like, "You got to come home. You got to come here tonight. All
Yeah.
right, tomorrow morning then, but be quick." That door that he always leaves through,
Uh-huh.
is that another part of his house, or is that leaving his house?
That's another part of his house, his home.
That door,
Yeah.
what does it lead to? Do we ever see it?
No, we don't. That's the mystery.
So it is just some sort of weird collector's room for him.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mystery solved.
I guess we don't necessarily have to see his home, but I just always found that weird. Like it never felt like a home.
Yeah, you're right though. And I think that maybe that's just the setting that the animators did to differentiate between a place like friendly, like Andy's bedroom, to this new place, Al's little inventory room,
Yeah.
to make it unwelcoming for Woody. He's like, I don't want to be here. I want to go back with Andy.
Yeah, true. And I think that's also foretelling of what their life would have been at the museum.
Absolutely. Wow. So profound. You're right. Yeah, absolutely. Is even when Buzz makes that distinction between like, what do you want? Like, you want to be behind some glass, never being loved again?
Yeah, that's what got him.
I was like, ooh, wow. Wow. What's interesting is that emotional roller coaster this movie pulls you on, this like tug of war kind of thing with should he go and shouldn't he? Because when it comes to like Jessie, it's it's almost like, and you see him, he relates with Jessie because it's like that will be him. Jessie is who he will be when Andy grows up. And I think that's why he like relates with her and decides to leave, kind of thing.
The prospector even makes a good point of saying, what about when Andy goes to college or his honeymoon? Is he going to take you?
There's that Toy Story 3 drop.
Yeah. John is hinting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Toy Story 3.
He knew, and he timed it perfectly because I was in college when I saw Toy Story 3.
Yeah, when did Toy Story 3 come out?
2010?
Man, that was perfect. The amount of time between these two movies and the age every Toy Story fan was by that time, that's perfect.
I just realized if it's 2010, I'm not in college by then. I didn't graduate till 2014. I was in college by Toy Story 4.
Oh, look at that. You got to relate to Bonnie somehow. But I think everybody was at the age already of not playing with their toys anymore.
Yeah,
You've
we were
grown up
all
and grown past it.
we were all like already teenagers, older, like
Just real quick, how much do you think the Woody's Roundup was worth?
he, ooh. How much was he going to sell it for originally? It was like $50,000.
I don't think they ever named the price.
I think they did. Like
Not that I remember.
he's gonna sell us to Toy Museum in Japan for $50,000. Toy Story 2 script. I'm on the case. If I could type.
I'm pretty sure he didn't say anything.
Okay, you're right. There's no price.
No price. It's just the context clues of what we hear.
Yeah, yeah.
He says, I'm going to be very rich, rich, rich.
And then the guy on the phone says, I'll pay you anything you want.
Yeah. But how much do you think it was at this time? What would make him a rich man?
Let's see, adjust.
Was he over exaggerating? Like, what do you think he could actually get?
I want to say $100,000.
$100,000, $1999.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what they're all worth?
I'm not a toy appraiser, but I think so.
I really have no idea. That's why I'm asking you.
You know
I just
what?
think it's very interesting.
We're going to do a little experiment live on this podcast.
Sure.
I'm going to eBay. I'm going to type in Woody. A Woody doll.
This is not going to work, Caroline.
I'm just going to see how much a Woody doll is from
Woody was mass produced.
1995. I'm going to see an original Toy Story Woody doll.
Okay.
On a 1995 Toy Story Woody doll on eBay, mint in the box is $309.
Okay.
So, just taking that into account today, in the year of our Lord 2022, if we were to think about that for one doll in 1999,
So you're gonna just plug in what $309 was worth.
I'm not gonna do the math of like each doll is worth $300, but I'm thinking about it. If I was willing to pay $300 for one doll, and then this is the whole collection, this is everything Woody's Roundup, I'm gonna bet $50,000.
You just cut it in half. Your original guess,
Yeah,
and he'll
yeah.
be a rich man with $50,000.
That's a lot for 1999. How much did you win on AFV? 100,000? 50,000?
They gave away that much money?
What was the prize for the AFV?
I don't
AFV
know.
prize money.
I don't know why you brought that up as an example.
I'm just saying, because that was played up to be like the winner will get a cash prize of, yeah, it was $10,000. They won $10,000, and that was considered like huge.
10K?
Yeah, I mean, let's be real, 10K now is still huge.
Yeah, with these gas prices, sure.
Yeah, you'll fill up a tank on 10,000.
But one-way trip. Yeah, I really don't know. I feel like he was exaggerating by saying he's going to be rich, because rich, I imagine he's set for life. You know, he could retire.
He's got a pretty good deal. He owns a toy store.
Yeah.
He's got like a Toys R Us.
Yeah, and it's pretty nice.
I mean, to be fair, Toys R Us did go out of business, but still, you got like a Toys R Us in 1999. That's big.
Yeah, in the 90s, you're doing good with the toy store.
Oh yeah,
very good.
Amazon hasn't even come around yet.
No, the dark looming shadow of Amazon.
Of Bezos. Have you heard his laugh where he's like, ha, 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 ha.
Does he really laugh like Zurg?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll make the comparisons.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Put the comparison of Zurg, then Jeff Bezos, then Palpatine. Let's see how they all...
Palpatine's a different laugh, but I'll still put the comparisons.
Okay. Definitely a villain laugh, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, yeah, I didn't think of a price, but I just wonder how much those would go for.
Pretty. I mean, for that person on the phone to be like, I'll pay anything you want, I think it's a lot.
That person on the phone was definitely a Woody's Roundup fan.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about it because whenever he goes like, yes, yes, and then he says, don't touch my mustache, I was like, what does he mean by that?
I don't remember that. Who said that?
That's what he's on the phone and he's going like, yes, yes, don't touch my mustache.
Oh, I don't remember that line.
Hang on. I got you. I got the 5-second clip right here. Open this link.
Don't touch my mustache.
So I looked it up.
Okay.
I found it in the trivia. And it's because he's talking to a Japanese person on the phone. And the person is saying, Do itashimashite? So when he says itashimashite, the guy Al thinks he's saying mustache, don't touch my mustache.
And what does that translate to?
You're welcome.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
That's pretty cool. I thought that was so cool. So cool.
Wow.
It's been a roundup day here on the podcast. Woohoo!
I would have let it slide if you didn't say it one more time.
I wanted to say it one more time. I just got it. I'm on a roll here. Might as well go with it.
You just love the W's, huh? You just toss the W's wherever you want.
I hate
Beginning of words, middle of words. Cool.
I have problems with W words. I'm mastering it slowly but surely.
That's amazing.
Also, I had to point it out. If not, I was going to get another message on my phone, be like, "Dear Caroline, please check the Google Doc."
No, I would have let that slide. I definitely would have brought up
Winona Wyder.
Wyder.
I'm sorry, Winona.
She didn't even gain that much weight, all right? She's still looking good.
Oh, that's not what I mean.
I know what you mean.
No.
Oh, this is wonderful.
I'm going to shift gears a little bit. I want to tell you a story about how Toy Story 2 was almost never made.
If John Lasseter never went to the airport?
That is a possibility in another timeline that I don't want to explore. But so this movie was made on a Linux computer And I don't know how much experience you have with Linux
Oh,
computers.
yeah, go ahead. I love the story. Go ahead.
But for those people who don't know, a Linux computer is done with a command line. So I had to learn, and I'm actually like certified Linux user. I am excellent with command line and doing like ls-l, moving around directories, all with those command line prompts. But that's how this movie was done. It was kind of done on a command line prompt computer. That's also, by the way, where they got the inspiration from Wheezy, because the Linux mascot is a little penguin. And so that's how they made Wheezy. So one day, one of the animators uses this command line. And that's an RM asterisk, which basically means remove all for a command line computer. And there's an interview with this person does it on independentco.uk where they talked about, and this is the supervising animator. He said that they were a root directory user, which means they had all the powers and privileges. It's not like as if you could delete something and say, hey, you can't delete this, you don't have access. A root user, you can delete anything you want and you can change anything you want. So this animator was a root user. He types in that RM asterisk, and before their eyes, the whole movie is being deleted. All of their work. This was at least maybe a year or two into making the movie. And it's all going down the drain. It's being deleted. And there's no recycle bin at this time. It's gone. So they're sitting there in horror as their movie is slipping away. However, a backup animator, Galen Sussman, recently had to go on maternity leave. She had just had a baby. And so she took a copy of the movie home so she could work from home on her scenes. And so when she found out that everybody in the office was in despair because they had deleted the whole movie, she shows up like the hero she is with the backup that she took home. And Toy Story 2 was saved.
Let this be a lesson as to why we should all be working from home.
And to always make backups.
Always be saving.
Not only Control
Control
S
S
is not enough. You need
is enough.
to also
Put it in
save
another
as
folder.
backup one.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that story. It's crazy to think that you think after a year and a half, if they deleted it all, they would have stopped and just did Monsters Inc.
They ended up actually having to scrap the movie, the animation that they recovered anyway, because the Pixar executives didn't like the way it looked. They wanted improved lighting, they wanted better features, and they didn't like the way a lot of the scenes were laid out. So they did end up having to scrap a good chunk of that saved movie, but it still didn't leave them at ground zero. They still had the models and stuff to work with.
So they were like, guys, this looks just like Toy Story 1.
We're
trying to
make
do
it
better here.
Better.
Bigger.
Show
better.
improvements. The Toy Story 2 animators did have it rough. They would work 12 to 18-hour work days, and a lot of them developed like carpal tunnel from the stress of always working and then animating and stuff like that. So they did have it rough, but they all said that the finished product left them all so proud and so honored that it was worth it.
Crunch exists in all forms of online work.
It's true. It's true. It's crazy to think about how this was like one of my integral movies as a kid. And if it didn't exist, I wouldn't have Jessie on my bookshelf today.
I'm sure Pixar would still be Pixar, though.
Oh, yeah.
The Toy Story trilogy is massive.
And iconic.
But I think if they only did one and kept going, I think they would have been all right.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a huge loss, but you're right. They have a lot of good stuff in their catalog.
Yeah. I have an important question.
Okay.
Let's rewind to the beginning of the movie
Ba-da-da-da.
where Woody is heroically saving Wheezy. And he manages to get Buster. That's the dog's name, right? Buster?
Buster.
He puts Wheezy in Buster's collar.
Woody.
And then
I'm slipping.
And then Wheezy says, "Bless you, Woody."
I love that.
So,
Bless you, Woody.
is God canon in Toy Story?
Yes.
Yes?
God is always canon.
Well, we have to, each movie you have to decipher when he gets brought up or not.
I think we can definitively say yes, God is canon.
So Hallelujah Night was very appropriate to be dressed up as Jessie.
It's like poetry, it rhymes. It all comes together.
Exactly right. Also, a little bit of the conversation that we had in the first Toy Story. So they're all looking for Woody's hat. Everyone's digging around
Oh
under the bed and
yeah.
in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ham, he said he was doing Morse code with the blinds. And he says the lawn gnome haven't found anything, Woody. So again, the lawn gnomes are toys. The lawn gnomes come to life.
We're getting into that existential part of the podcast, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they are. If they're played with by a kid, they're toys.
Yeah, but lawn gnomes are played with by kids.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on.
It's not that hard. It's not that heavy. If you're played with by a kid, you're a toy.
But can you imagine them playing with that when they have toys inside their house?
If they're outside and then they want to use the lawn gnomes as part of their like army or whatever, yeah.
I think it's got to be something else, a different component.
Is it a toy gnome?
No, I think in addition to everything we said, if you're played with, if you're loved by a kid, I think in addition to that, also if you're made as a character, if you're drawn to be a character or molded to be a character, I think you're gonna come to life and be a toy,
Interesting. Okay.
right? Because Forky, that's what happened with Forky.
Yeah, yeah.
He was made to look like something, a character.
Mm-hmm.
He got googly eyes
Those little
and
popsicle feet.
pipe cleaner hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's got to be a component of it.
Yeah, I think there's some truth to that. Absolutely.
So, anyways, we can leave it at that. We don't have to dig any deeper.
Let's talk about Buzz in this movie.
All right, good.
I love Buzz. And it's so funny, so creative that he's dealing with himself in this film. One of my favorite scenes is when he is it's just him and that what's that belt, utility belt Buzz
Yeah, new
that
utility belt.
that are in that little plastic display case, and he's like, "Oh, tell me I wasn't this deluded." And then the utility Buzz like pins him. He's like,
Deluded or delusional?
deluded.
I don't remember. But yeah, I know what scene.
I love that scene.
Again, I think at Pixar, they just love Buzz, like demo mode Buzz. They love seeing him like this. And it is funny. It's always funny. I love when he yells to infinity and beyond and they give him the musical cue. It always sounds so inspirational and
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. He's so cool. And then when he comes along with like when he eventually catches up with the gang and he opens up that astronaut sphere on utility belt Buzz and he
Yeah,
just
his gravity orb thing.
yeah, and then he just lifts up his leg, like showing the Andy foot, and they're like,
Yeah.
Buzz. I love how straight faced he is. He's just
I love how, yeah, everyone else was staring. Like, as soon as he opened up his cap, nobody cared. He was just straight up
he was like
suffocated.
And then we have a 546 here. You mean he's a yes? So that means oh yeah.
That's what I was looking up. Do you know what 546 is?
No, I don't. Do you?
I didn't get an official answer on this. I saw what could possibly be an answer.
Okay.
And again, I only did research for about 2 minutes before we started.
That's what you were looking up.
So I wanted to know, what's a code 546? Because, yeah, immediately Buzz goes down on his knee, just starts treating Buzz like he's a god or something. I mean, Woody. And, yeah, the website I found, I forgot the name of the website, but it seemed like they were describing things that you could do at Disney if you run into any of the characters, like things that you can tell them or ask them to do. And one of the examples I saw was if you're taking pictures with Buzz, you could say to infinity and beyond, and then he'll pose like if he's going to take off.
Oh.
So what they wrote there is if you say like code 46, it means that you're talking about royalty or like you're in the presence of royalty. So I don't know if this is Pixar official, but it does relate to what's going on in the movie because Buzz, like, he kneels down, he takes Woody's hand and he sees him as like a king, pretty much.
Okay, okay. This is another one of like those chicken and the egg things where it's like, did that come from this movie or did this movie make a reference to that?
Oh no, without a doubt, they made something up from the movie. I think. Again, I don't think it's
Okay.
confirmed, but I like the idea because it's definitely along that line.
There used to be a with because I took a picture with like the Jessie and Woody at Disney World, and I remember when I was there, the person in front of us said, like in line, said, "Andy's coming," and the Jessie and Woody laid on the ground. They're
I
like,
was just gonna bring that up too. I was gonna say I doubt they're still doing that because so many people know about that now.
I saw an article that they don't do that anymore because yeah, that like went viral and they like I think one of the suit actors got injured trying to fall down. And so they were like, okay, we don't do that anymore. I think though they do like hide. They try to like hide behind the manager
That's
that's
easier to
there.
do. Yeah,
Yeah. So I think that that's still cute that they react to that.
yeah. Because the first time I heard about that, obviously that's such a cool idea. But then once everyone knows,
That's
you know how
it.
many little kids will just be like, "Andy's coming,
Andy's
Andy's
coming.
coming, Andy's
Yeah.
coming." It's like, oh my gosh, what time is it?
I cannot keep falling down. No
Time to
way.
clock out.
Yeah.
I'm done.
What's
But yeah.
interesting from the experience that I had from being at Disney World with and meeting Woody and Jesse, they play Woody's Roundup when and I went in like maybe 2011. So no, wait, a little bit before that, maybe 2008ish. It was before Toy Story 3. But I had just thought that that's how much like Woody's Roundup is a big deal is that when Jesse and Woody come out, they play it like it's time for Woody's Roundup. He's
Oh,
the
it's a big
very
deal.
best. He's the rootinest, tootinest cowboy in the Wild Wild West. Ah,
I wanted to ask you about that and how it relates to Woody.
okay.
After seeing this again, I was thinking, does Woody always need love? Does he always need this sort of attention? Because let's kind of play it out, but like in short form, right? His whole purpose is to make Andy happy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that's all he thinks about. And he's Andy's favorite. And he loves being Andy's favorite. And then when Buzz shows up in the first one, he starts getting jealous, and then he starts to slowly accept, like, you know what, he's a cooler toy and he should be with Andy. I should be the one strapped to the rocket. But then in Toy Story 2, he sees Woody's roundup and he sees that he was important. He sees that he was a part of a popular show. He sees that he has a gang and there's merchandise around him, and he's telling Buzz and the other guys, like, oh, I was a yo-yo and this and that. And
Was.
he's ready to, well, he actually accepts, like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the museum with these guys. And he accepted, like, oh, Andy's gonna grow up. So basically his whole purpose for years of making Andy happy and being with Andy, he was ready to leave that for several reasons. But I think one of the reasons, because he wanted to help Stinky Pete, Bullseye, and Jessie from being in storage for the rest of their lives, but also because he saw that he's important, right? Like he's special. He's a special toy.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, yeah, how do you see that? How do you see that in relation to Woody?
I think it's so interesting because I also think that maybe he doesn't realize how important he is to Andy. Like as a kid, you get kind of swept up in getting new toys and that feeling of like, oh, I got this new toy and like I have these like this Buzz Lightyear and stuff like that. But you always have that one toy that is your favorite. And I don't think Woody really understood it that way. I think because this is obviously when Andy is still a kid, but like flash forward a little bit to Toy Story 3, Andy was going to take Woody to college. Like that's his toy.
Yeah, yeah,
That's even like when Bonnie is going to take him, he's like no, like he holds him back. Like that's his partner. But Woody doesn't see it that way right now because this is still when Andy's a little boy and he's got all these toys to play with. And Woody is feeling a little bit like, I'm not that important to him. And when he does grow up, I will. And then I think, especially too, after hearing Jessie's after that whole segment of When She Loved Me, we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail later. But after that, and really relating to that and being like, that's going to be me in a couple of years, I think he would rather short tail that and just go to the museum.
But then shortly after, and of course, because this is what the whole point of the movie is, he realizes it's better to, or actually, let me look because I wrote it down. Oh yeah, that Andy is gonna grow up, right? But he's not gonna miss it for the world, as he
Yeah.
says it. Like he
Yeah.
can't stop him from growing up, but he's not gonna miss it. So I feel like he kind of lost sight of that for a moment, and I think Jesse's story played into that. Prospector got in his head a little bit too. But I guess I brought up the whole merchandise thing and the show of Woody's Roundup because I feel like that played into it too.
It played into how important he is to the Roundup gang and everything. He was the main character of a show, and he's never felt like that. He's always felt like he has to be, I don't know, like, I gotta be the captain today. I gotta wrangle everybody in together and stuff.
I just get the impression that he likes being loved or he likes being needed in some way.
Yeah.
And he could find that with Jessie and Bullseye
With the
and
gang.
Prospector, yeah. But another thing for that scene that made me a little sad is that he wasn't just giving up Andy, he was giving up his
friends.
original gang, his
Yeah.
original Roundup. Slinky and Mr. Potato Head and Buzz and Rex.
That scene where he's like, God, like they're my friends. Yeah, we're his friends. No, these are my friends.
Yeah. I feel like that it's kind of a missing component when in some of these movies they kind of don't mention each other. Well, Woody does in the end of this movie. He says, when Andy grows up, I still got old Buzz Lightyear.
Yep.
And I like that.
Yep.
But I feel like they really need to remember that they still have each other too.
Exactly.
Especially in part 3 when they're talking about the attic and how they're going to all be in the attic together.
That also just a little preview for our inevitable talk about Toy Story 4. One of the reasons I don't like Toy Story 4 is that.
Yeah, which part of that? You want to save it or you want to, because I don't really remember.
I'll save it, but just as a tidbit of how throughout these movies, especially like I think specifically in this one and then in Toy Story 3, where it's like, hey, at least we're all together. At least we all have each other. And then Toy Story 4 just breaks that.
Okay, yeah. So I think I know which aspect of that you mean.
We'll save that for later, but that is one of the reasons I don't really like Toy Story 4.
Okay.
Now, I came to a startling revelation as I watched Toy Story 2. And that is that I am Emily. I did the same thing to my Jessie doll.
Oh, you boxed her.
I grew up and I was a horse.
Shame on you.
I was a horse girl too. I had that chest.
I bet you wore makeup too.
I had the horses on that chest, like the way she had it, and it got slowly replaced with makeup and nail polish. It got replaced with Jonas Brothers posters and all of that. And my Jessie doll got boxed and put on a shelf in my closet. And I was like, wow. After I remember being a little girl and seeing that and hugging my Jessie doll so tightly, like, I'll never do that to you. And then I sat in horror 2 days ago.
And as soon as the Joe Bros entered your life.
I'm hot. Jessie's not.
No more Woody's Roundup now. Turn on the radio.
Hands clapping, hips shaking.
Jessie's under your bed, crying, looking at you.
No. She probably was under my bed for a little bit.
Jonas Brothers CD accidentally fell and slid underneath the bed. And you realized she was under there.
My Xbox controller slid under my bed. She's like pushing it so she could get instead.
Yeah, she laid on top of it, hoping desperately that you'll grab her instead of the controller.
No, Jessie.
Got some explaining to do, Caroline.
I do, Jessie. I'm sorry.
Some apologizing.
That's why you're on the shelf now. You're out in the open, in the
Write
light.
her a notepad apology.
I put her next to my little baby Yoda, my little baby Grogu, so they'll comfort each other.
They quickly rose to the top. I'm surprised.
The what?
Jesse had to be. You had to be reminded of Jesse with these movies, and Grogu, he was just immediately bam display.
To be fair, also Grogu was a gift. I wanted to put him on the shelf.
Okay. Was Jesse a gift?
Oh well, yeah, from my mom, but Grogu
But what?
Grogu was a recent gift.
Classic kids always wanting the new thing, never caring about the old
I'm
one.
sorry, Jesse.
Wow.
Don't you shame me while your toys are waiting for you in New York in a box in a closet.
My mom's
somewhere.
taking good care of them. All right.
You should take them out for air every now and then.
They have a better home than if they were here.
You got to recreate the Toy Story 3 scene with like your nephew.
Oh my gosh.
This is Batman and Robin.
I have to show. Oh, you mean when you're handing them to Bonnie?
Yeah.
I have to show him Toy Story. I don't think he even knows about Woody or Buzz. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's a whole experience he has yet to feel.
I'll see how he likes it because he actually, he loves Marvel and Sonic and just like big blockbusters. So I wonder how he's going to watch this and take it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
He does. I didn't mention this in the first episode of Toy Story, but his toys are actually Avengers, and a lot of them, like he has almost all of them. Ant-Man, Black Panther, Captain America, Iron Man.
Wow.
And then he has like Stormtroopers and Kylo Ren and Rey, and it's basically just like multiverse of madness all the time because they're all there. They all become good or bad, and that's how they play.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
I want to see what stories he comes up with. I love all the stories that like Andy does throughout this, like Toy Story 1, 2, and 3. All of these little role play that he does with his toys. I think they're so funny and so cute and so on the mark for how kids play with their toys.
Also, I don't know why you reminded me. I guess it's because it's shortly after or shortly before he starts playing them, but near the beginning of the movie, Woody and Buster, he has Buster well trained. He's like, reach for the sky.
And he does the little like, and he stands up, and then Andy comes along and he does this like,
stick him up,
and he just scratches his ear.
Yeah, so what's that about? What do you think? Like, Woody is just a better trainer, or
yeah? And I guess he spends more time with him and stuff like that.
All right, I did like that comparison.
I thought that's adorable. That is so cute. Buster is such a cute pupper.
I know, and then I love how they treat him in
Toy Story 3.
Yeah, everyone's growing up. Everyone, every kid, every dog, everyone's growing up. Can we go back to Buzz a little bit, because there's some things I wanted to mention that I didn't say.
Yeah.
I also think he's a very cool toy, very cool character.
Yes.
Just like,
I kind of wish I had a Buzz Lightyear doll now.
Me too. Yeah, because he, just in general, like, he's very cool. He is very. Have you seen those comparisons online? How people would say, like, Buzz is Captain America and then Woody is like Iron Man.
Oh no! Wow.
It's not that accurate, but I see where people are going, and I do see some Captain America traits in Buzz in this movie. Like, he is the leader when Woody's not around. He does lead the gang to save Woody, and I like the quote. I wrote it down because one of my favorite quotes in this movie is that Woody once risked his life to save me. I couldn't call myself his friend if I weren't willing to do the same. And that's how he rallies the gang to go save him.
Yes.
But yeah, he's very... He's a leader. He's noble. He's loyal. And then just in general, I like his suit. I like the colors. I like the wings. I like his... He's just a really cool toy, a really cool character. And I think he's at his best in part 2. I think this is probably the best that we see of Buzz.
I agree. He also, by the way, he radiates all the energy of things you like in characters. He's got the personality of Captain America, but he's a spaceman. That's all about you.
I'm ready to see Lightyear.
That's all you. It's like they made Buzz for you.
They got Captain America to be Buzz.
They did. That's
Yeah,
all for you.
I'm ready. I'm ready. But yeah, those are the traits I like. You know, the goody two shoes. The like, no, we're not leaving anyone behind. Woody did this for us. We'll do this for him. And then the scene that you mentioned. What did he say about how Woody never gave up on them? You remember? You mentioned it in the first Toy Story conversation.
Yeah, where he was like, did like
Did Woody give up on us when you threw him off a
yeah,
moving truck?
Did Woody give up on you when you threw him out of a moving truck? Oh, you had to bring that up again. Mr. Potato Head, you ain't slick.
And then Buzz, he goes, "We're not gonna stop until Woody's safe back home in Andy's room with the American flag behind him."
Yes. Oh,
Come on.
that scene is that's so you. I was watching that. I was like, I'm so surprised you didn't have a Buzz Lightyear toy.
Not an official one. I think I've had probably like a smaller one or something, but not like a Buzz Lightyear Pixar Disney licensed toy.
Yeah, yeah. He's so
But yeah,
cool.
he's great. He's great.
Jesse is my favorite. And then, Woody and Buzz are kind of tied for my second favorite Toy Story character.
I don't even know if I could rank them. I just know I love Jessie. I love Woody. I love Buzz. Slinky.
Slinky.
I still love Slinky.
Who's behind? Mine.
I love that. Yeah.
I like the.
Well, yeah. What did he say? He's like, "Is everyone present and accounted for?" No.
Who's behind? Mine.
Mine. That's clever writing right
I
there.
love that. I love Ham when he's walking down the street and the cork pops out. He's like, "All right, nobody look."
Nobody look. Yeah, $6 worth of change in there.
And when they're in the toy store and they're in that little car, and then Barbie comes out and he's like, "I'm a married spud. I'm a married spud." And he's like, "Then make room
for the single fellas."
Yeah, make room for the single fellas. That's the voice actress for Barbie is Jodie Benson. That's Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
Oh. Wow.
I was like, that voice is so familiar. That I'm tour guide Barbie, and I was like, who is that? And
is this still pre-Disney or is this after Disney?
Oh, that's a great question.
Find out.
When did Pixar get acquired by Disney? 2006. This is pre-Disney.
Oh, look at that. Nice.
So they didn't join Disney till Cars? Wow.
Whoa.
That's a lot. Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Monsters Inc. are all just
did good
Pixar.
For themselves.
They did. Wow.
Now that you mentioned it, I also wanted to say this movie is awesome because it takes everything to the next level, right? We see Jessie, Bullseye, Prospector. We see Zurg. We didn't even talk about Zurg yet.
Yeah.
But I think a very important character, you just said it, Barbie.
Barbie
is very important. Not so much to this movie, but in Toy Story 3.
She will be.
She will be very important. And she's another great addition, like a secret under the radar addition to this movie.
The tour guide Barbie. I love that she's over here dropping facts. Like in 1995, retailers didn't expect like the popularity. That was like an in joke. I can't remember the line specifically, but when she says, "Oh, here it is. Back in 1995, short-sighted retailers did not order enough dolls to meet demand." That's because when Toy Story originally aired in 1995, toy sellers did not think the movie would be a hit, so they didn't order a lot of dolls, and then they sold out. So, and then that also was a dig because Mattel did not give them the rights in Toy Story 1 to use Barbie. And
I remember that.
It became so big that in Toy Story 2, they said, yeah, you can use Barbie.
It's weird because I know Barbie is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously. It's huge. Oh, yeah. But I can't help but think that Toy Story and Pixar is bigger than Barbie. And I'm not talking about money-wise. I'm talking about now like popularity and quality. I don't know what's right or wrong, but I just know I always see it as like, Barbie, you got lucky to be in this movie, okay?
I don't know, Tom.
Like, you're the one. You're the one.
I don't know. I had Barbies before I ever watched Toy Story. I don't know.
Oh, I know. I know that. I know they brought in like actual popular toys into their movies, but I feel like we're witnessing a history. Like we didn't even know how big they were going to be, how popular they were going to be, and I just can't help but think like Barbie, you're a part of something special here. Like you're lucky to be here.
I completely agree, but I also think that Barbie is huge. Maybe not in the movie sphere
Yes,
industry, but as a toy, huge.
and she
Huge.
sold without any movie of her own.
Yeah, Barbie has not, I mean, now, like, this is before Barbie has a couple of movies, but like on its own, a little girl could have all these Barbies and I've never seen it. It's just a Barbie. It's a doll.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a classic toy. But it definitely is on the nose that you would think a movie called Toy Story would have Barbies in it. Because when you
Yep.
think about popular toys, Barbie is like probably the number one.
They mentioned Mattel in the movie in the first one.
Yeah,
Like
like
wasn't Rex made
what
by Mattel or something?
wasn't that in the first movie?
Yeah.
It was like who made you? And it's like, I'm from Mattel.
Yeah, it was either Mr. Potato Head or Rex who said that.
Yeah, and Buzz. It was like Buzz who's like, I'm from Star Command.
Yeah. It was that introduction scene on the bed.
So they were already teasing Mattel, but now we actually got Barbie.
So that's a big pull. That's a big pull for the movie.
Yeah. Now, Tony, I gotta ask you a question. I need you to be completely 100% honest.
Oh man, all right. Crank it up to 100%.
Crank it up to 100.
I've kept it at 90, but I'll crank it up.
Just for this question. Did the segment When She Loved Me make you emotional?
These last few times watching it, not like holding back tears, but I always find it sad, of course. Always.
I was crying.
What about you? You're crying?
I was crying.
I mean, you have a Jessie doll you ignored. But yes, I understand. Those are guilty tears.
Yes. But to be transparent, I cried as a little girl and I cried 2 days ago and today.
It's another one of those things where this is a kid's movie, but it's so layered. And this is another one of those aspects where it's like, this is a natural part of life. They're outgrowing toys and you can't stop that.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like I think that that's something that the toys themselves don't fully realize too. Like in the story and also for us, like as we grow up, we have to leave our toys behind and grow up and face the adult world and then you think about it from the perspective of that toy. And then it gets you like
Because Emily didn't do anything wrong.
no, she didn't. She grew up and she did what any person does when they have to clean out their stuff. And then she donated her toys. That's exactly
she
what
didn't trash her.
Yeah.
She donated it to somebody who wanted it.
That's exactly what happens in Toy Story 3. They get donated.
Yeah.
And it is a little sad. I was thinking like it is sad that she got donated. She didn't even like keep her around to put her on a shelf or anything, but at least in a way she was going to somebody who would play with her. The only really sad part is that Jessie didn't go to somebody who would play with her. She went to somebody like Al and then he put her in storage. Like that's the really sad part too.
Right. I thought about this just now, but we were talking about how Woody is an older toy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always in that leadership position and he's more mature and he looks out for the gang. Jessie is just as old as Woody.
Yep.
But she does seem like the child. She does seem a little bit more youthful.
She's got the younger sister kind of feel with Woody.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even want to get into that, but yeah, like Woody should be, 30 years old or whatever we said.
We're going to ageify them. All right. All right.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to act their age, right? They're just going to stay at a certain...
They're going to write them to be like a certain age, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I
like what Jessie says there in her story of being donated, how she's describing being played.
Yes. Wow.
She says she's not moving, but she feels like she's alive.
Even though you're not moving, you feel like you're alive.
Look at that.
That's so sad.
In a kid's movie, we get dialogue like this.
Existentialisms. I love all of Jessie's like expressions. My favorite one is her sweet mother of Abraham Lincoln. He's here.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was good.
I actually found out that that's not just a random Southern expression of joy. It's actually a deep cut because Tom Hanks is related. He traced his ancestry to Nancy Hanks, who is the mother of Abraham Lincoln.
No way.
Yeah. He has a whole like thing about it that he's distantly related. He's like the third cousin of Nancy Hanks, who is she got married and she's Nancy Hanks Lincoln and she's the mother of Abraham Lincoln.
What in the world?
Yeah.
That's
So
how far they went to drop these references in here.
when she says, "Sweet mother of Abraham Lincoln, he's here."
She wasn't lying.
That's just another one of those Pixar deep cuts.
That's good stuff.
I do remember this movie was a big push for me. I wanted a horse because I wanted a Bullseye. And then my dad was just like, let's just buy her a Bullseye. And then
Instead of a real horse.
yeah, let's just get her a Bullseye. So I have a Bullseye.
She already forgot her Jessie doll. Imagine what she'll do to a real horse.
No, it's different with an animal. When it comes to your pets, that's just different. We haven't even seen a movie about like a dog and its owner. That's a whole level.
No, we
of-
can't. I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, that's a whole level of sadness. It's like, if we're over here crying at toys, imagine pets. It's just,
I'm not crying. Yeah, I'm holding it back.
you gotta stop holding it back. Let the tears flow.
No, they gotta explode out of my eyes.
Like a
I'm gonna
water
hold them
hose.
in. It's like a dam. A dam that is just gonna burst at some point.
Oh my goodness.
If we ever watch Onward for the podcast, then we're in trouble.
Someday we gotta finish this Pixar journey at some point.
I guess we are on a Pixar journey, huh? Is this the first one we've done, or
If Toy Story was the first movie, it only makes sense that we go from here.
we started?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I got no problem with that. And there's a lot that I have to watch that I've never seen.
Yeah. There's a lot of good ones that you haven't seen.
I've seen a lot of good ones.
Yeah, no doubt about that, but you've also missed out on a lot of good ones.
Cars 2, right?
Cars 3 actually, but
I know. I mentioned Cars 2 very specifically.
But like Wall-E, Ratatouille.
I saw Ratatouille. That's the one you keep forgetting that I saw.
Oh, you're right.
I saw Ratatouille.
What about Up? Have you seen Up?
I've seen Up, yeah.
Okay. You haven't seen Coco.
No. No Coco, no Brave.
Brave is a good one. Brave is a good one. Now, this movie also is infamous for its ASMR scene. The most satisfying scene in the movie.
No, would you call it ASMR? I wouldn't call it ASMR.
It's not ASMR in its labeledness, but is
you know what I would call it?
What?
You just said it. It's those videos that oddly satisfying videos.
Yeah, that's what
where
it
people
is.
watch like pottery being made, or people watch like wood being carved and things like that. This is one of those. Just oddly satisfying.
I follow a YouTube page called Unintentional ASMR, and they do where it's like a documentary about a guy who's like a carpenter, and he's making like a wooden figurine, and it goes through the process of like carving down the wood, and that's like the whole process is so satisfying to see that it's called unintentional ASMR. And I think that that's what this scene is the unintentional ASMR of Woody getting his little makeup, his makeover.
Yeah, I like that because this was before the trend of making videos for that purpose.
Oh yeah.
Because now people know exactly what people find satisfying, and you could just make videos of weird things like that, right? Like just watching like chocolate being made, or I don't know, making a batter for a cake, just weird things that people find relaxing and satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
This was that before any of that was a thing.
And I think it kind of awakened something in me, at least. I watch ASMR every night, and I remember when I got a little bit older, I went on like a little bit of a Pixar marathon spree, and I rewatched Toy Story 2. I think I was like a freshman or something. And I would watch on repeat that scene where Woody is getting fixed up. It is so satisfying. And a lot of people
actually
felt
wish
that
it was
way.
longer.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I love all of it. That whole restoration process he went through.
How do you feel when he paints off Andy's name?
Oh, okay, accept that. That's heartbreaking. No.
But agreed. Everything is very satisfying.
How do you feel about at the end of the movie when Woody gets that big old bicep that Andy gives him when he fixes him up?
What happens to that bicep in part 3?
I don't know. Maybe he lets it out a bit.
Even the red stitching. Does he have the red stitching?
It's not even really addressed again. It's just kind of, he's fixed up. Maybe the mom was like, let me do that, honey.
Let me do it the right way.
Maybe he got ripped again at some point in those years, and then his mom was like, I got this.
I like that idea. Yeah, because Andy did it, and he probably didn't do it perfectly, so it could have
Yeah,
unraveled. I like it. I like it. Makes it special because
Andy did it.
Andy did it.
It also kind of reaffirms his fear from the beginning of the movie where he's like, oh, that's right. You're broken. I don't want to play with you anymore. And then at the end of the movie, Andy comes back and the first thing he does is fixes Woody. That's so sweet.
And another line that I'm sure helped Woody put him at ease is when Andy said, "Good thing I didn't take him to camp, or else he probably would have lost his arm."
Yeah, like he was thinking about him.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. That's another thing. Woody forgets how much Andy loves him.
Yeah, especially from in the first movie, right? When Woody is going off in his adventure to save Buzz, and Bo Peep sees that he's sleeping with the cowboy hat, like he's holding a cowboy hat because he's missing Woody.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Oh.
But about the big bicep Woody stitching,
Uh-huh.
I like it a lot because on top of Andy doing it and that being his toy, I just like it in the sense that it's unique now and it's specifically his. Like I know he wrote his name on it, but this, like, he stitched it with a red, red stitching, or red, what do you call it? Red thread, right? And he put like extra stuffing in there. I actually don't know what he did to make it bigger, but I guess he stuffed it up some more. And it became officially his. Like, that's the way that I think about things. Like, if I accidentally drop my phone or something and it's like, oh, it has a scratch, but I always say like, oh, now it's mine. Now it's officially mine. That's a scratch that nobody else has.
That's a really positive way of looking at that.
Yeah.
But that's so true because it's like now he's not just any other Woody. Now he's Andy's Woody.
Yeah, that's why I really like that. It's custom to him specifically.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool.
There's a line that I want to bring up. Is very small, but I want to bring it up because this is at Al's Toy Barn when the new utility belt Buzz meets up with the gang, and then they're like, "Get in the car," and then I think it's very clever that it's still demo Buzz, and he's like, "Who are these weird people?" Like, they could have easily gotten to the same situation of, "What are we doing here? This is an unknown planet. I have to take them out with my laser." But Rex, he goes, "Buzz, I know how to defeat Zurg."
You do?
He's like, huh? Yeah, that's it. That gets him in there. I think that's perfect.
I also love that he goes along. He has no idea what Rex is referring to, but he's like, you don't go to the main entrance. You go to the left in the shadows. And he's like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, what does that even mean to Buzz?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, he is in. He's all in.
But he made it work. It made sense.
But it also shows he's the same person. Like, the Buzz, utility belt Buzz, is not as different as their Buzz. They were even like, hey, have you noticed he's been a little like he's been a little, what was the line that Ham said? But he's like, he's been really like,
I can't remember. I know which one you're trying to say.
Yeah. Or he's like, have you noticed he's been a little motivated since we left the toy store? Like,
yeah.
they're not even like thinking this is not our Buzz because he's the same person. It's just it's the way he refers to things where it's like, we got to get home with Andy versus come in, start command.
Yeah, they're just like, all right, Buzz is being weird again.
It's just another Wednesday for us.
Yeah. But I think that's great.
It just really cements Buzz as such a great character.
And again, to infinity and beyond. I love whenever
yes, Tim Allen just, I forget that it's Tim Allen. That's like one of the beauty about their voice acting. Good voice acting is when you don't think about who's behind the mic. You're in the moment with the characters. And Tom Hanks is great, but I think Tim Allen I had to cough, excuse me. Tim Allen mastered it. I never think of him. Like in the good way, I hear buzz.
Yeah. Yeah, we always talk about that, right? Like if the voice gets lost in the character, you're doing a good job.
Exactly.
Sonic, I don't hear
Sonic.
Ben Schwartz.
Yeah, I hear Sonic.
I hear Sonic. So that's cool.
I hope Chris Evans puts in that same effort with Lightyear.
Nah, you already hear the trailer. That's Chris Evans. But I'm excited.
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt since Toy Story has such amazing voice acting.
Yeah. But what about Tom Hanks? He kind of just sounds like Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is good, but I hear it. I hear it every now and then where I'm like, Tom Hanks.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
He's doing a great job.
They picked such a perfect voice actor for Woody. I could not think of any other voice actor for him. Tom Hanks just embodies that.
Yeah.
I was reading that because Randy Newman does the music for the Toy Story films. And he felt skeptical for When She Loved Me because he thought that kids wouldn't really like a slow ballad for Jessie's backstory. But when they showed, because Pixar always does like focus and screenings and testings and stuff like that, and they showed Tom Hanks and Tim Allen the scene, like When She Loved Me with the song, and Tom Hanks said in an interview that he and Tim Allen were like holding back tears. They were really
my kind of people.
They were really emotional watching that scene, and that was when Randy Newman's like, "Oh, okay, we'll leave it in.
We'll keep it in."
Yep.
Did he also knock that one out in a day?
I don't think so.
Just put some thought and care to this one.
Just you got a friend in me.
All right. I want to ask you about the villains in this movie.
The villains, Al and Zurg.
Oh, Al and Zurg, huh? Not Al and Prospector?
I forgot about Stinky Pete.
I actually forgot about Zurg until you said Zurg.
Zurg is a villain until the big reveal.
Yeah. So if you want to include Zurg in that, we can. But I was thinking, in comparing it to Toy Story 1, Al is definitely a villain. Mm-hmm. He straight up steals Woody.
Yeah, that's just, as a side note, that is so messed up to steal a toy.
A kid's toy.
And it's locked up. That's the thing. He went out of his way. He picked the lock on the lockbox and stole Woody. It's just messed up. But okay, continue.
Yeah, that's straight up evil.
Yeah.
And another thing, the way he parks at Al's toy barn, you can tell what kind of person he is with how he parks his car.
Yep.
But okay, so he's definitely the villain. But I feel like that's where it stops, right? He steals Woody, and then it kind of gets handed off to the Prospector to do his evil doings.
Yeah, that's interesting because why does Prospector want to go to Japan? What's the motivation behind this? When Woody tells Jessie and Bullseye, like, you can come with us, why doesn't Prospector want to go?
I don't think he was invited, Caroline. He wasn't looking at Prospector when he said, "Come with us."
Oh, this is the sad fate for ugly toys.
Is he an ugly toy?
I'm just quoting the little girl at the end of the movie.
Oh.
I mean, let's be real. Would you buy a Stinky Pete? I mean, maybe you would if he farted, but still.
Oh, he farts.
You said that like Pennywise. Oh,
you'll fart.
He farts.
He farts.
This is a case of like Maleficent. He wasn't invited to Andy's room, so nobody can go.
Do you think he was invited or no?
I don't know. I was just thinking about that right now. Like, why doesn't he want to go and get, played with by a kid?
I don't know. I never thought about it like that. I always thought he was not invited. He's talking to Jessie and Bullseye.
That's just my only thing is remember or really understand the motivation behind, like, no, we're going to Japan.
Yeah, because he has no background. We don't know if he was anyone's toy. We don't know if he had a kid. We don't know if he was abandoned.
Maybe he's just so cynical from being in a box all his life.
Maybe he was in a box all his life. He was always a collector's item.
That's how Jesse presents it, like he's mint in the box, never
Oh, there you
been
go. Yeah, he
opened.
he couldn't have been a toy for a
Yeah,
kid. He's a collector's item.
he's been in that box his whole life. This is a lesson to all you people still with your Funko Pops in their
Carl,
boxes. Take them out of the box. They don't want
Jay,
to stay in the box.
Caroline,
What? I took them.
Davy.
I took them out of their boxes, and I got a lot of heat for it. But I stand by it. Take him
All
out of
right.
the box.
I don't even collect toys. I don't collect anything, honestly.
I know you, Mr. Minimalist.
Whenever I saw toys in boxes, I'm like, why? Why? They're meant to be played with.
They're meant to be taken out and posed.
Yeah. Why are you using this as like a an investment opportunity to sell them 20 years from now?
That's my thing, is like, why are you buying something to be like, oh, 20 years from now, this will be worth so much? Toys are not meant to be like that.
No. Look at Stinky Pete. This is a lesson to be learned here.
Exactly. Take them out of the box.
But now that I'm thinking about it,
Oh no.
there's no reason for Woody. No, this is I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with that. This is back to the story now. The Toy Story 2. Woody, he had no reason to not invite Stinky Pete because he hasn't yet revealed that he was the one that turned on the TV, or he hasn't yet screwed in the vent cover yet. Like he hasn't revealed that he's bad or he has bad intentions. So yeah, I guess it has more to do with that. Maybe he doesn't care to be a toy for kids. Maybe he's fine being a mint condition Stinky Pete and he just wants to be in a museum.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so. That's the tragic fate. He's a victim of circumstance. If he was taken out of that box and played with, he would have understood how important it is to belong to a kid. But he's never felt that. And how can you miss what you never have?
That's true. He doesn't know what it's like to be alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then again, who wants to play with a Stinky Pete? You know?
Maybe
Besides
you.
me, of course.
I was gonna say you would.
I was gonna say before you. I knew you were gonna say it. Okay. All right.
In an alternate timeline, you would be playing with a Stinky Pete and a Buzz Lightyear.
The two best characters in Toy Story.
That covers all your prospects for what you like in a toy. Farts
And everything else that buzzes.
Spaceman.
Space, sci-fi,
Captain
honor,
America
loyalty,
Man.
leadership,
Space
and
Boy
farts.
Scout. And farts.
So let's talk about this finale. What did you think about the whole finale of this
Oh
movie?
yeah, the whole airplane going in,
Yeah.
and then the luggages.
Airport and airplane, yeah.
Yeah, that's so fascinating. This movie really did go above and beyond in the locations, whereas in the
Did it
previous
go
movie,
to infinity and beyond?
oh, I like the way you talk. Yes, you're right.
Go on.
With the first movie, we were at just Pizza Planet, maybe the gas station, and then back. But in this movie, we're going places. Al's toy barn, Al's apartment. We're going down. They drive in this movie. They're driving with who, like, Slinky was working the pedals, and then Buzz was steering, and Rex was navigating.
Yeah, yeah.
They're driving places. This is amazing. And then we go to the airport and they sneak up. They're in that dog container. And they have to find that green case. They got to get everybody out.
I like how the baggage carousel, it looked like a huge futuristic city of just luggages.
A labyrinth of luggages going everywhere.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was such impeccable creative design. And then they have to find the case, and then I want to say, I think there was a Toy Story 2 video game, because I thought I remember playing something like that.
There was definitely Toy Story games. I don't know which one you played, but there was a few.
I don't know which one I played either, but I thought I remembered that being a level in a game somewhere where you had to find the case and like travel up those conveyor belts, but maybe it was just a fever dream of mine as a kid because I liked video games too.
I haven't played any to tell you if you're right or wrong, but I think you're right. I don't see why that wouldn't be a level.
I'll do some research after this just to see.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like it was a level. And then I really like the whole like getting to Jessie. I like that she's the one that they gotta go and get. They gotta save her. And
Yeah.
and then that reveal when they have to jump off the plane and they're like, "Are you sure?" And then his arm is ripping and then here comes Buzz on Bullseye. It's amazing. It's just
Ooh,
oh,
come on.
so
That's good.
cool. So cool.
How about right before that, Caroline, when Woody opens up the case and you see Jessie in the fetal position?
Oh, I know. She's by herself again in the dark.
It's like she was ready to be abandoned again.
Yes. Ah.
That's how she was waiting in there. She just
Ah.
accepted that she was being abandoned again.
That's so sad. And then I just saw Toy Story 3 and like when she's in the trash bag and she's like hyperventilating, it's just
Yeah.
Jessie. Ah.
I don't like that Prospector ripped Woody's arm.
I know. It's messed
And
up.
seeing the toys get
All
damaged.
all of that whole unintentional ASMR scene for what? For what?
What?
For what?
Exactly. His whole like defeat, I guess, lasted like 30 seconds. Like it was very quick.
Yeah, Toy Story does not dwell on the villain in this movie. They wait until Toy Story 3 to do that. But in this movie, they're like, all right, just put him in a backpack.
Yeah, because you feel like, let's see, like with Sid, like overcoming Sid, that was a big elaborate plan,
Yeah.
right? I include that all as one thing. Overcoming the Prospector, what do you think? It was just that one moment, right? It's kind of just like flashing him in the eyes and then just like stuffing him in a little girl's bag.
Yeah.
That was really it.
Because he is kind of like a hidden villain. He's not even really the villain of the overarching movie until it's revealed, like, you're not going nowhere kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm okay with it, by the way, too, but it's just very quick compared to part one and part three. Even part three, if you remember.
Oh, wait, that's a whole
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Overthrowing Lotso Hugging Bear was not easy.
Overthrowing this like mafia boss.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Let's not say too much about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the whole finale with like, oh well, let's find out. You know, we don't know what happened in Woody's roundup, right? What was the exact line with that? Like,
Oh yeah, she's like, but it was canceled.
so let's find out together.
Yeah. Oh, my heart. My heart gets so filled when the plane goes over their head and he just goes, "Let's go home."
Yeah.
That's so wonderful. That's such a way to end it. And then the way that they're all posed on the bed, the welcome home, Andy. And he goes,
New toys.
"Thanks, Mom."
I wanted to hear a phrase from Woody's pull string though.
Yeah.
It didn't say anything.
Well, she pulls it once though. There's a snake in my boot. Jessie pulls it once.
Yeah, but in the plane when they're swinging from his string,
Oh yeah, he never
it
says
doesn't say
anything.
anything.
Yeah.
No.
I never, Jessie has a pull string and we never heard from hers.
I think she says yeehaw.
She as a Jessie owner, I can confirm that she does in fact yeehaw and she yodels.
Oh yeah, you could pull her string, right?
Yep, you can pull her string. I remember 3. I don't remember all of them, but I do remember 3. And it's she yeehaws, she does that yodele, and then she does the end of the movie when she goes, "That critter needs help."
Wait, does your Jessie have a pull string that works?
It doesn't work now, but it does have a pull
Uh,
string. Well, actually, hang on. Let me see. Let me try.
let's find
I
out.
didn't
Let's
pull
find
it.
out.
I'm gonna put my headphones down.
Put it up to the mic. Let's hear it.
Yeah, she doesn't work.
All right, get some batteries in her for Toy Story 3 then.
You have to like open her up, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to mess her up. I do see her battery pack though.
You got to do it.
I'll see if I can fix her up a bit.
All right, cool.
I do need to wash her. She's been in the closet for too long. I also don't know where her hat is.
Oh, what? What's a cowboy without their hat?
I know. I'm sorry, Jessie. You don't have your hat. Also, I'm surprised. Like, I thought her hair, because her hair in the movie is yarn, a yarn full of hair. But the toy here that I have in my hand, she has rubber hair. It's like plastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not yarn.
I think that's too difficult to manufacture.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, today's Jessie dolls have a yarn full of hair.
Are there today Jesse's dolls? Are they still making it?
Yeah, I think so because of Toy Story 4.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yes, they do. Wow, they're a pretty good price. There's like two versions. There's a $12 doll that looks like mine, and she's got plastic hair. And there's like a $30 doll with yarn. Hey, yo, this is a pretty doll.
Don't get any ideas. Don't replace your Jessie,
I'm not
Caroline.
gonna Lotso my Jessie.
Do not
I am not.
Lotso Jessie.
I'm not gonna Lotso Jessie. She's mine. I
All right,
might get
good.
a new Jessie for whenever I have kids, but she's my Jessie.
Your Jessie's not going to be the family Jessie?
If my girl treats her well, she will be. I don't want her to be mean to her.
Why would your girl be raised to be mean to Jessie?
That's a good point, but still, I don't want any harm to come to her.
You just want a new Jessie. You saw her, you're like, ooh, this looks way better than mine now.
Jessie, don't hear him. Shh, it's okay.
All right.
You're with me.
I have one last question, Caroline.
Okay.
What's your favorite blooper?
Oh, the Buzz pranks. The whole compilation. We'll be back before Andy gets home. What a like, haha.
What?
Real funny, Woody. And then the ka-chink, like, was it like free space or something?
Free space, yeah.
Like, this space for rent. Darn it, Woody. That's my favorite.
I like when Wheezy gets knocked out by the microphone.
I think I swallowed my squeaker.
Yeah.
There's so many good ones.
Pretty much all of them are great. Especially the Stinky Pete one when he farts in the box.
The who's behind? Mine. And then he's like, oh, coochie coochie coo.
Good job.
I like the Mrs. Potato Head, like, and a cheese puff in case you get hungry, and a key.
And some silly putty.
I'm packing your angry eyes just in case.
I wish he got to use it instead of using his feet.
He used his feet.
Why did he have 2 feet?
I don't know. He needs like a trail, an off-road pair of feet and an on-road.
I guess so. His angry feet.
I like when Buzz burps in the box. And they're like,
I remember eating that.
And they're like, ah.
That's the 5th take.
And then when Woody is hiding in one of the boxes, he just goes.
Yeah, that's fun. As a kid, that was like breaking my mind.
It was making me think of the possibility that maybe they are like Chip and Dale. They're all actors in this movie.
Exactly. I didn't even get how this was happening. But you know, the one that stuck with me the most is when Jessie yanks on Woody's pull string and it rips off.
I love that laugh. Is so infectious when she's like, I just pulled the string.
I always feel like that's going to happen in the movie every time I rewatch it.
Oh, I know. When he
like, oh, careful.
It's going to snap off.
It's going to snap.
It played into our fears.
Yeah. And then, of course, ending with Barbie. That was great.
She's like, my cheeks hurt. I need a break. I need a break.
That's good stuff.
Poor Barbie.
Good job, Little Mermaid.
It must be rough to always smile. But yeah, good job, Jodie Benson. You a real one.
And good job, Joan Cusack.
Joan Cusack made my childhood. You really rocked it.
In honor of her, should we watch one of her movies and possibly...
We're gonna.
Oh, yeah?
Toy Story 3. Am I right? I'm right. Right?
I'm ready to say farewell.
I already picture the Mr. Chuckles face that you got on. But I think this is a good spot to say farewell. Do you have anything else you want to comment about the movie?
No, that's it. I think we got it all.
I think, I guess just to close it out, I did go through like an Emily stage, as all girls do. But also, I had forgotten how much I loved this movie. I had forgotten how big a part it was. It really got overshadowed by all of the other films that kind of make up my personality, like Star Wars and, others like that. But I really did forget how much I loved this film. And I'm really grateful for your spontaneous Toy Story rewatch that put me back in the place to watch this movie again, because all of those memories and nostalgia and feelings just came rushing back from watching this movie. So, yeah, this is a really good film and so beautifully nostalgic. It was great.
Those are very thoughtful words, Caroline. And I agree. It's such a good movie. I'm glad I got to talk about it with you. I hope people who listen get to kind of relive their own memories of this movie as well. I hope we did it justice. And just to kind of tease the next one, I I'm having trouble deciding if Toy Story 2 is still my favorite after watching 3 again.
I'll cut to the chase and I'll just give mine. You can be in Mystery Land, but Toy Story 2 is my favorite. I'll save our
All right.
official Toy Story ranking, like kind of a little what's your favorite and least favorite for when we finish out the series, but without a doubt, Toy Story 2 is my favorite.
Lightyear is going to be a
Yeah,
part
we'll
of this?
consider it after we watched it. It's got to be part. It's part of
Okay.
the whole universe for Toy Story.
All right.
But everybody, thank you so much for listening. If you're hearing us on your favorite podcasting platform, give us a follow, hit the bell button if you want notifications from us, and give us an honest review if you're a returning listener. If you're hearing us from YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, hit the bell icon as well for notifications. And thank you.
Thank you for listening, everybody. Caroline, thank you for this conversation. It was a great trip down memory lane. But Caroline, for now, to infinity
And beyond.